Okay, so there's rumours that Oleksandr Usyk may be vacating his WBO World Heavyweight title because he doesn't want to fight his mandatory Joseph Parker. Now, when I say doesn't want to fight him, I don't mean he's ducking him. I don't mean he's afraid of Joseph Parker. But ultimately, Usyk is at the end of his career now, and if a rematch against, or maybe if a third fight against Tyson Fury or an Anthony Joshua or Daniel Dubois was to present itself commercially, those would be far bigger fights than the Joseph Parker fight. Even though I think the Joseph Parker fight would still be a big fight commercially. Now, if Usyk was to vacate, what would that mean for the WBO world title? It would likely mean that Moses Ituama, should he beat Dillian White, would face Joseph Parker, which would be a crazy world title fight. And I'm not really going to be talking about that more because I'm going to be talking about Usyk and Parker. Now, Parker is more than deserving as being the number one contender for the WBO title, and he'll feel really hard done by if he's gone on this long run and beaten all these names to come to the top of the mountain and not be able to get that shot against Usyk. I would be really upset if I was Joseph Parker, but we will see. It depends. Maybe if the WBO are willing to give Usyk an extension or maybe willing to delay it, but we'll see because ultimately these governing bodies, what they want to do is get their money out of Usyk. You know, when you've got a big world champion, you want to squeeze that world champion for as much as you can, as much in commissioning fees, have him fight as often as possible so you can make that money off of him, right? That being said, if Usyk did decide to just vacate it, he could vacate it and say Joseph Parker was to beat Ituama, then down the line they can have that fight anyway, and then it could be for an undisputed championship because all the belts would be on the line, and Usyk could become a 3-time undisputed heavyweight champion, which would be crazy. If anyone could do it, it could be Usyk. I'm not surprised that Usyk would want to favour a Tyson Fury third fight, would want to favour a third Daniel Dubois fight because he's beaten those guys pretty handedly twice now, and they would still be huge money fights for him, right? So we'll see. I'll be curious to know what you guys think. I'll be curious to know what the WBO do about this. Hopefully they don't strip him because for them to strip him just for him to fight Joseph Parker down the line anyway, it kind of doesn't make sense, but I get from a business point of view why they would want to do that, but we'll see. I'll be curious to know what you guys think of Usyk potentially having to vacate his WBO world title. Like I said, I'd be curious to know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.